Alright, what's up everybody? My name is Zelkenon. This is another Smite Super Builds, and this is Ymir. This is a tank build, more specifically, for Ymir. I've done one in the very past, like Super Tank Ymir or something like that. But that is really outdated, mostly because Gauntlet of Thebes, it got changed, and then it got removed. So I'm not sure if Gauntlet of Thebes will come back to the way it was back then. And you know, the icons and names of stuff have changed around, and it's just times have changed. So I'm still in the process of redoing all the old builds and still trying to get out new builds. So with that being said, this is a tank Ymir, and let's go ahead and go with the items. Actives. A blink. Blink helps you so much as Ymir, especially the greater blink, not the combat blink. Combat blink it's a very long cooldown of 180 seconds versus the 45-second greater blink. But the trick to this is you cannot be in combat, so manage your in and out of combat carefully. So let's say for arena, and as an example, stay off more towards the sides, unless if your team is pretty good at clearing the minions where you won't get hit, and that way you can go ahead and blink, go ahead and follow up with your freeze, your frost breath. Then from there you can put a wall behind them, or use your ulti, or lay down your ice carpet too. So it's kind of up to you. But blink really helps Ymir initiate, since he doesn't have, like, you know, a dash or anything else like that, or early pro whatnot. Next is the Feebling Curse. So if you blink to them, and let's say your freeze is in a few seconds till coming up, you're gonna go ahead and you can slow them down, or you can use this in combination with your ulti. So if you Feebling Curse, ulti, so that way they can't really run away from your ulti. So you get this really helps Ymir in that sense. If you feel like you need more CC immunity, go ahead buy purification beads. But as always, actives depend also on the game mode. With that being said, if you're tanking a conquest and a dual lane and whatnot, you definitely want to buy the traditional Eye of Providence and the Hand of Gods, and go ahead and go up the top left branch. I don't know if they changed the name of Hand of Gods, but I think it's still Hand of Gods actually. Okay, so don't get Fist of Gods, get regular full Hand of Gods. That way you can down those objectives really fast. So those two actives for Conquest, and these two actives I recommend for anything else besides that. So there you go. Items. Reinforced Greaves. I like this for Ymir. Yeah, of course it makes it more tanky, but more if you look at the plus 26% movement speed while out of combat. So this works really well with your greater blink. So not only do you have increased movement speed while you're out of combat, this lets you have, you can kind of adjust where you're going to blink, and faster coordinate your team's moves and whatnot, and where you want to initiate. So this really helps Ymir in that sense. Since they removed I think they're called Celestial boots way back in the day, where they gave you just a whole bunch of movement speed. Those got removed, so they kind of implemented that into Reinforced Greaves. So there you go. Also the 30% reduction to all CCs. That's really nice to have as well. If you feel like you don't need any of these bonus movement speed or CC reduction, you may want to buy like the cooldown reduction boots, the Shoes of Focus. So it's up to you. But I do have a separate Mage Ymir build on my channel as well. So if you want a Mage Ymir build, I already have that, so go check that out. So Reinforced Greaves. Moving on to Height of the Urchin for your second item. I really like this because buying this as your second item, it really allows you to kind of venture off and be a little bit more aggressive, and meaning you can go a little bit more Mage type build later on down the road. But this works probably the best in Assault. If you don't like playing Ymir, and then you got you've been chosen to play as Ymir in Assault, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Height of the Urchin is a really good item for the tanky characters in Assault as your first item, because as you look at the passive, you gain +2 protections for each god kill or assist, and 10 stacks. So that's a lot more protections. That's total of 65, both physical and magical protections, and that kind of allows you, to stay in lane longer and kind of keep up to date, I guess you can say. So Height of the Urchin is really nice for that. Quite a few people overlook this. But if you don't want to have the Urchin for whatever reason, that's fine. You may want to buy other items like Borg of Hope or Breastplate of Valor, just different tanky items of that nature. So, but I do recommend this. Next is Winged Blade. Since they added the buff to it, I think it's the attack speed they added onto it. That's really nice. Winged Wand was the original name. It always really worked for Ymir, more because of that 10% additional movement speed with Ymir. Like I've always said, speed Ymir is the scariest Ymir. You have this huge freaking frost giant chasing you down with the glacial hammer, and then you know he's gonna freeze you, and he's gonna fall with the ice carpet and ulti. Or put a wall behind you, and you're going to back up to the wall, and then you're just going to get owned. So, Winged Blade works really well. Also offers 350 health. That's quite a bit. The cooldown reduction is really nice, so we can get more 3s off. Attack speed allows you to use your passive more, I guess you can say. So, Frostbite. All of Ymir's abilities that affect enemies apply a debuff to the enemy called Frostbite. All of Ymir's basic melee attacks against the target afflicted by Frostbite do 100% more damage. So base attacks do more damage after an ability. Kind of works like Poly in a way. So that lets you do that. Also the passive, if they try to slow you while you had this passive up, your movement speed's also increased by 20% for 4 seconds. So yeah, if Raw tries to slow you down, well, he's gonna have a bad day. So Winged Wand, or Blade, sorry, Winged Blade. Void Stone, this is a really great item. It also helps out the team, of course. You know, you got that team aura, you got more protections and more power for you. So, since Ymir's, like, his attacks, if you look, they scale pretty high, like 370, 210. Mostly his ulti. If you look at that ulti, dude, that is ridiculous ulti right there. So, more magical power for him makes him even more so deadly. Next we have Sovereignty for the aura, mainly. The physical protection is quite a lot. Even though they did nerf the health, it's still really high, 400. I think it used to be 450. So Sovereignty is also a really great tank item for all tanks. That goes for Void Stone. So these two are pretty much like the meta for tanks. If you're never really sure on what to buy for tanks, you know, if you don't play tanks too much, these two items are pretty much the things to buy. Also Reinforced Greaves. So those 3 items are your core items: Sovereignty, Void Stone, Reinforced Greaves. Those are pretty much the meta, and the other 3 items kind of up to you and what god you're playing. So we finally top it up with Ethereal Staff. This is to get you a little bit more power and a lot more health, since Void Stone does not give you health, and Hide the Urchin's only 250. But like this last item slot, you can change for whatever you want. If you want to be more tanky, or if you need to be more tanky, you can easily switch that out for like Stone the Gaia. Because if you notice in the bottom left, our magic protection is a little bit low. So it really depends on your play style. You know how well your teammates coordinate with you, and vice versa, and all that. So you may want to buy another tank item instead of Ethereal stuff. But I personally like this because of the massive health and the passive. The 2% of your maximum HP is converted to magical power. As you can see, we have 155 magical power. That's purely with just Void Stone and Ethereal Staff. So there you go. That pretty much wraps it up. I went ahead and got the full 10 stacks of Hide the Urchin, so we get our final product here, and that is quite a bit. So we have 4,240 HP. The reason why that's so freaking high is, yeah, we have, you know, a fair bit of HP items like Ethereal Staff and whatnot, but more importantly, his HP scaling. He has the highest HP scaling in the game currently right now. I think he gets 104 HP every time he levels up, and so by the time he's level 20 with no items at all, he's like at 2,500, and that's a lot. So moving on to our stats: 155 magical power, 264 physical defense, and 208 magical defense. And movement speed's pretty high, 483. That's quite a bit. So that's his movement speed right there. So let's go ahead and let's mess around with some damages. All right, not too bad. Remember, this is not a mage build. those 200 attacks. That's the passive work in its magic. It's the red buff 198. As you can see our winged blade aura when it's available. Not only by the icon above your health bar, but also by the little swirlies around your feet. And once you get slowed, that gets removed. And also keep in mind, your opponents, they can see that aura buff around your feet, so they know when you have that passive ready. So just keep that in mind. If you're wondering how far you can blink, I have this special little indicator. I'm not sure what the default is, but my setup, yeah, it does show you the default. It has like a little arrow pointing down, and you can kind of gauge it by moving your mouse up and down on how far you want to blink. For Ymir, since he's so freaking tall, it's kind of hard to see over. So pretty much, I kind of do it blindly. I use blink so much, I have an idea on how far I go. So most of the time, if I was to upload how my blink gameplay is, I go up and I blink type of deal. But I know where I'm going, so it's a personal thing. As you can see, it's a really quick cooldown, so it allows you to initiate a lot more often than the normal. And for the new people that don't know too much about blink, you can blink through walls as long as they're somewhat thin, and that goes the same for a jungle. So let's go ahead and use Magical Might. So that's just to give you a rough estimate if you to like play with hoarder mode on, or cup runneth over, where you have, you know, a decent amount of gold to start with. Okay, so let's go ahead and freeze him to his attack. So he's gonna go ahead and slow me. As you see in the bottom left, 500 and yeah. So 518 is my movement speed increase when I get slowed. That's with the winged blade passive. Oh, he juked me. Actually, I think I just missed. God mood. Okay. Dude, do you really want to go again? Alright, so the blink I was talking about, you can blink through walls. Like so. And after you use greater blink for the next 1 second, you get increased movement speed by 40%. So that allows you to make some quick final decision adjustments to your placement and the enemy placement. Are you really following me, Raw? So here's the ulti. Boom! 1,290. That pretty much wraps it up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, babies, sugar daddies, whatnot. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.